Welcome to the stream. My name is Lee. We're continuing our early. It's going to end after this because next Wednesday is what? Sometime in the middle of the week. It's fine. I'm not going in for Prime next Wednesday, so I should be able to stream at the regular time. Don't quote me on that. I'm thinking a New Year's Day stream. If I can scrape together something cool for fundraising, yes. If not, we'll stream something else. But definitely streaming New Year's Day. Oh, but hi and welcome. My name is Lee. I am the usual. I don't know if I have to do my non-woman disclaimer. I think I passed one enough that I don't have to do that anymore. But you know, what else? Oh yes, my Greyhawk. So it's Wednesday. As most of you know, on Wednesdays I do my Greyhawk streams. And fudge, sorry. Uh, Luckily the can was empty. It hurt. So on Wednesdays I do my Greyhawk streams. We edit the Greyhawk wiki. It's a good time. So I have that new wiki feature. Greyhawk wiki. Alright, let me switch down a little more. What we've been doing is going back over North Kingdom. Apparently we missed a bunch of stuff the first time, so that... Oh, but because I got distracted by Wind March. Right. So, yeah, I think we have East March is a town that's used to be the easternmost, and they used to hit... the Wind March used to hit it in Brewfest, but then after the collapse of the Great Kingdom, the Wind March shut down, and then when it was reopened by Savener for Alyssa, they didn't go into the North Kingdom, so that kind of ended. But it's in. But anyway, Greyhawk lore time. Okay, first let me do two things. Um, One is open up our source book. So where's I can say it's Greyhawk. So the one our source book, of course, is the hi Kit. You had it here before we even did the thingamabob. Okay. You made it. No, stop it. I need that. Thank you. It's a little bigger. You made it here before we even did our jig. Um, so there's Ivid. Do that. Let me see what it's like. Good, not that one. This one. Be there so it's be able to scooch. There we go. That's Ivid. You're here. Yes, Merry Christmas Eve. I have to work in a couple hours, so I'm just kind of I figure. Mm, hmm, mm. I figure because I have to work, I might as well stream. Because I can't go, leave for my parents' house until after work. Um, Exciting stuff though, because I'm catching the midnight train and then an overnight bus, so I can come back Christmas morning at my parents' house and bring presents for the kids and other such fun things. But and then presumably I'm gonna go to morning mass with my parents at some point, or like, you know, bleh. I'll go on one of the other 12 days before the Feast of the Epiphany to make up for it. But, what was I going to say? Oh, yes. So, I am going to stream about Greyhawk. That's the plan. Even the Undying is happening. Um, yes. Kit, by the way, is in the chat and is super cool. I don't know if I'm gesturing toward the chat or, because it depends on your screen setup, I think. But, it's like, yes, it's the 12 days. It's the Feast of the Nativity, the Feast of the Epiphany. I grew up as a Catholic, so we learned that. But yeah, that's when they say 12 days of Christmas. That's what they generally mean. Um, but because Protestantism doesn't do all the other feast days, they just do the one big feast. The 12 days kind of became more nebulous, and people interpreted a lot of the older 12 days in different ways. Like 12 days leading up to Christmas, which isn't historically what it was, but eh. Um, yeah, fun fact for the day. But yeah, New Year's Day is actually a cool one. I kind of like the New Year's. But what was I going to say? Because that's the Solemnity of the Virgin Mary. It's a really fun feast day. Okay, well, fun for religious feasts, religious days that aren't like, you know, feasty. What was I going to say? Oh yes. So what was I going to say? I got distracted by religion. Comparative religion. I didn't mean to do our world comparative religion. I meant to do Greyhawk. So what we're going to do is I need to go and put on my own thingamabob that I'm streaming, and with, and then maybe put on the Greyhawk, Discord. Yes, that, and then we can begin our, oh yes, it's gonna do the early ad break, so maybe I'll slip off, get more liquid, put it on the Greyhawk wiki, and then we will actually get started on, I think we're doing East March and other parts of North Province, so yeah, there's a lot to be said for East March. There is a lot there, and I mean, I'm not going to do all of it, because there's ethic, and, you're always careful about that, but I'm going to do a lot, so let's see. Uh, Actually, I think it was genuinely morning. Um, I have to do the summoning because you're already here. Uh, Beautiful. Okay, now. So, yes, add something. Okay. Uh, Wikipedia. Wait, did they delete it from the main Wikipedia? Which I guess it makes sense because it's fictional and they tend to have but like anyway, give me a minute to get some tea. Well, tea. I mean, for sure. Yeah. All right. Whoop. I'm back. So, what happened on? Because apparently they deleted off Wikipedia, the main Wikipedia. Because um I I I mean I can kind of see that, but I mean Rust Monsters. I feel like yes, D&D is a niche community, so Rust Monsters, and it has a lot of its own resources like wiki, so I kind of get it, but also, and I mean I feel like there's very little reason to delete something like that. I mean, pro deleting it from Wikipedia, like, yeah, okay, it's not exceptionally unreasonable to do so, but like, why? You know what I mean? Because it's like, are they running out of space? Is that a concern? I feel like if it's not a concern, you're running out of space. There'd be no real reason to bother deleting it. You know what I mean? Um, like, I mean, there's stuff that's just clogging it, but there's stuff that's actually useful cultural reference points, even if it's in a niche community. And it's like, okay. Um, Although from inside a niche community, it's hard to see. Oh, so anyway, um, it's good to know. Okay, what was I gonna say? Oh man, all right. We were doing North Province is what we were doing because apparently there was a lot of stuff in North Province that we never actually got. Um, I mean, fair. Yeah. yeah, there are definitely pages that don't need to exist, but like that one, I feel like is fairly harmless and useful in a small capacity at least, and if there's no concern about spacing, like if you're printing and binding it, yeah, you have to be careful about what you put in, but um, I guess there's that. Um, yeah. Interesting. Oh, wait a second. Did we get to this? Wait, hang on. I think we might have missed. Um, wait. Did we get all of these? I think we might have missed a few things in the back of that one. We might have missed bits of it. Okay. We are going to put that on a note to self. Let's go back to that afterward because we keep missing stuff. Okay. Fair. Um, North Province. But, oh. I have peanut butter pretzels, and this one is fused together. They're two little what's-its, and they got baked together. So that's kind of cool. Alright. North Province. Let's do it. Alright. So we're doing North Province, and we're doing, Faith and Priesthood. Okay. I wonder if we should check the North Kingdom page and see what they've got there. That might be prudent. Let's see if North... Okay. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna do North Kingdom. Um, okay. Um, 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 oh, there's a whole, oh, some interesting pieces historically here. But let's see. First thing let me do is this. Then, I just want to check, because, this one as well. Where thing is, no, not that. It's about as good as it is. Okay, never mind. North Kingdom. Let's see what kind of page North Kingdom has. Okay, it's got a pretty decent legislative heraldry, transportation. Oh yes, the roads. Okay. Um, Interesting. Okay. How's the Neelix? There is. That's true. Um, um, Edward the First. Okay. Northern Erie, right. 590. Oh, hello, Chantel. Welcome on in. Today's Greyhawk Day. Um, Also, I might end up running, what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, the space, if Gary Con's submissions are slow, and I got an email about it, they're probably filled up by now, but if they're not, well, put a pin in that. I also was hoping to do a New Year's fundraiser stream, but that's kind of last minute scrabbling. Okay. But first, alright, so, oh, 576, that was the one before. Alright, um, Arity. Okay. Yes. Um, okay. So, later forest, below the trash. Okay, so they have a whole version of, alright. Okay, after the Greyhawk War secession, okay. Dang, already? If they're already closed, because I know they reopened them briefly a few days ago, but I haven't had a chance to actually sit down and do stuff, although, but If they already closed again, damn. Alright. I missed the deadline for frickin' Page by 1 minute. I emailed Rob, because apparently you could do that, or Ron, but he hasn't said anything. So I emailed Ron, but I never got back to me, so I'm just guessing I'm just not running it for Page, which is fine. I still haven't figured out my schedule for Page yet, which I probably should, because I'm stuck doing random, whatever, other people want to do, which is fine. I can live with that, but it is what it is. Okay, so, okay. Okay. No, Prince Hexter, okay. Um, okay. Seceded, um, uh, okay, maybe I should put the note of secession of when, because this is 585, right? So, it seceded somewhere around 585, or at least between 576 and 585. I probably should put that down, um, like just before, uh, um, in maybe like roughly 585 or just before, something like that. Let's see. Okay. Um, 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 what is Reddick? Okay, hang on. Okay. Let's see. Bellport. Alright, so there is more political situation here. In the distinct, in that kind of, okay, what is, I guess we're gonna do politics of when North Kingdom became North Province, and a little bit more details on that, as our main for today. And then we should go back to East Fair, and, or should we do, let's start, yeah, I got an email a few days ago saying they were reopened, so maybe, we shall see. Okay, hang on. Let me, final twist. Okay, yes. Sorry, I am getting, okay, hang on. Seeded from the Great Kingdom. Here's like, guidance for the new coinage, and relic symbols and other badges for the new nation. However, everyone knows what happens within their province will be affected by what happens elsewhere in the area, of course. Grace Grenell is a very difficult position politically. During the Greyhawk Wars, he allied with the humanoids of the Bone March. Out of desperation, this alliance was successful in forcing the stalemate, which created peace. But a very tense legacy has been left behind. Bone March humanoids are not a single coalition with one overall warlord. The Euros orcs are the dominant tribe, however, and with that, it is with them that Grendel made the alliance. So far, the different warlords among the Euros have not indulged in their traditional intertribal warfare within North Province, but that is probably just a matter of time. In any event, matters are difficult enough already. Still stationed in East Fair. Right, we mentioned that. Bellport and elsewhere within the north and western reaches of North Province. A war to drive them back to the Bone March would be ruinous to North Province in the present time. What's more, Grendel desperately needs the ores which are supplied from the mines in Bellport. Coin minted with these ores is accepted for trade by the Steam Baron, Twin Cities, and imports from south. Humanoids have massed armies which are encamped in strong defensive positions in and around the mines. The orcs have their hands around North Province's throat, as it were, and Grendel knows it, right? Because they're all encamped around the mines, he can't fight a war with them. That's a good way to put it, actually. Pecco, I'm not gonna buy viewers, but you can stay and watch anyway. I was gonna say, yes, that might be a good way to put it. Alright. Let's see what we've got in terms, okay, oh, I'm not even showing you the right one. I am showing you that, not this one, which I'm reading from, but let's check this one. I'm reading a different one. Alright, so let's see. Let's see. Let me go to Great Kingdom of North. Okay, North Kingdom. Let's see. The Northern Towns joined together to form an independent realm government East Fair, a provincial capital. Okay, so yes, had already seceded but wasn't formally, recognized. Yes, I know there's both I've been bopping back and forth between the province and the, country. So I'm gonna say, province had already, declared secession by 585, but wasn't really recognized until after Roxas fell apart. That might be a good way to put it, because I think Ivid, dying, probably assumed he still had control of the North Province, because he was. But after Roxas got blipped, and he died, possibly, right before then, it was declared he was no longer Overking, whether that meant he died or they deposed him somehow. And then the dome fell, and no one knows what happened on the internals. But word got out that he was no longer king just before it got capped. So I'm thinking there was something. So he's just sorry. That's fair. So but wasn't yeah, but didn't formally become. I think that's what we're gonna go on the province page. I'm gonna say that it already basically seceded, and in fact, and we'll read up that paragraph and see what it says about their putting the taxes independently, because that's what it says in the book, that they had the taxes independently. Ivid and the had Herzog Grenell had kind of agreed that they were doing taxes separately, or look, hang on, let me look at what did the book say about the taxes separate thing. Now we go back to this, and we boop that up, and then I bump it up here so I can see what it says. Okay, yes, the human and East Fair. That's the tricky part. Uh, okay, faith and priesthood. It was a second ago. Beyond North Province, East Fair, Granite City. There was a whole section up. Title. Okay, yes, taxes. Um, for Grenell, he can always count on the support of the church lands of Hexter's priesthood, and the support of the ruler of Edgefield is crucial to him. Um, 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 land grants and set taxes and tithes. Here we go. In matters temporal, Ivid granted the authority to the Herzog of the time to make land grants. Okay, Ivid the First. Yes, so this was generations back. Um, in practice, Ivid pleaded that this concession could not be laid down in the formal treaty, but must remain subject to perpetual but informal understanding. Herzog accepted this, but the whole left in concern to the military and armies of the North Province. Ivid the First retained formal rights to them over them in the treaty. Let's see. Treaties of the time so that he could call on them in times of war. What was never written to any treaty was that the acceptance that the Herzog would be the unquestioned supreme leader of these armies in times of peace. If it never laid any claims to such leadership himself, the matter was simply never formalized. The result of this is simple. The entire elite military commanders of North Province traditionally have been hereditary and of Oridian flan blood. Some have been resentful of the primacy of Hexter's faith and thus unwilling to accept that the priests should lead warriors and armies. As a result, the military elite have often kept the Herzog and his priesthood at arm's length, arguing their own case and maintaining some degree of independence. In addition, many senior military leaders are extensively unhappy in the alliance with the humanoids, since they believe that they have become with the men of Retic, which the humanoids want to go and conquer, because, right, that was mentioned earlier, they kind of want help conquering as kind of a return favor for help in the Greyhawk Wars. Okay. I gotta figure out where the frick Retic is first, but that's secondary. Hang on. Broader set of faiths in which moderate followings among common folk elsewhere they're in Eardy. Okay. Broader set of faiths. Procan. Farligan. Procan, I believe, is Sulois, if I recall correct. Is Procan Sulois or now we have to check that. We'll have to mention that in Iridian, because that started before the province was kingdom, so we'll put that in the province page. Travel lands even at sea. Some. Oh, Farligan. Oh. Oh, because he's the land wanderer god. I remember, I think. Some merchants welcome him as a protector, in addition to Zilchus, one of the winds, when they set over long distances in the northernmost lands, and. No, that's backward. Hang on. Some of the best farmlands, the old land powers of Berry, um, northeast, just of at the northern border, near the coast of the Bone March. Okay, northeast, just northern border. Okay, so and and it's the border. Because it's near the coast of the Bone March, they want in. Okay, that makes some sense. I should bring up map. Um, the only map I can get the 576 map, which is good for geography. It's not so good for political map because it's outdated in 585, and certainly more so in later. But it's the one I can get the easy zoom of, which is helpful. So what we're gonna do is get the map up and then of course I shout out Anna and her map making skills. Um, um, or apparently CloudBot's not working, so that's fun. But the map I'm going to be using in just a second is Anna B. Meyer. I know everyone I know specifically in chat is knows Anna, but if you are new and don't, she is just basically apparently very hard to copy. There we go. There we go. So Anna is basically just ex Swedish Air Force ex Swedish Air Force pilot. Blah. And we have 5 people watching. Hi everyone. Um, she's basically really cool. Um, and she's a professional cartographer, like classically trained, and way into Greyhawk. And so she makes these gorgeous community maps. And puts them out as what's the technical term? Creative Commons licensing, so people can just use them, which is so nice. And I contribute to her Patreon. I usually the thingamabob is supposed to automatically link her Patreon. Apparently the bot's being fussy today though. I'll have to fix that. But yeah. So I was gonna say, um, I do because I use her map so often in my streams. Uh, and she has heraldry too, and she also has this cool new kind of system. I'm less than sold on it because she doesn't have the GM role, and I think that's like I am very dubious of systems that don't let the GM roll. First off, because I remember when I did Thirsty Sword Lesbians, I said F that when they said, oh well the NPCs don't know. The NPCs roll. They get rolls. They get rolls and they can crit because I, I don't know. She's more of the opinion that the player should roll like defense rolls as opposed to having the enemies roll attack rolls. I mean, it's a system and it's cool. And she has this whole theory of you should be able to build piecemeal classes instead of just. It's actually kind of cool. Not necessarily my vibe, but very cool that she's doing all that. Plus, anyway, Anna's really cool, basically, and you should all check out her maps. But what I was going to do was, we are getting very distracted by this. And I gotta. Okay, yes, that's gonna be Meyer. Okay, this is our map system. That the reason I wanted to say that was, um, because 576 is good because there's the easy zoom. I think she took down the easy zoom of 590 ish one, but okay. So North Province is up here. Bone March is up here. Radek is somewhere. Oh, there's Bellport. Um, Johnsport, Deathsport. We'll find Radek eventually. Bellport. Um, Bone March. Pyre Mine. Oh, those are the mines they were talking about outside of Bellport. Northeast. Somewhere up here, perhaps. Uthic. Angel. There's Footsie. Yes, the Frost Barbarians. Or my Suglois, and then you got other stuff. But I'm sure it's around here somewhere. We'll find it eventually. But my point, I think, actually, it's probably on the map. I know it's silly to focus on small details, but I would like to know exactly where that is. Desk point. Sport. Anyway, But yeah, that's the general area. So that's Bellport up here that they were talking about, and then East Fair is down here. Where's East Fair? It's right around here. Yeah, yeah. Um, we there it is, East Fair. There's East Fair there. So that's East Fair, and then Bellport's up here. Those are the ones they were talking about. But what I was gonna say is this one. Okay, yes. Okay, that's the wiki page on it. So that's the kingdom. Province, we should mention that. Um, we should mention the religious thing that they had a vast, much broader religious base than most that that people actually worshipped. And Herzog Grenell of the House Neelix. Yes, Herzog Grenell, Forrest Grenell. Um, Herzog Grace Grenell is I should mention him, Grace Grenell, in the. I don't know if he has enough to get justify his own page. Maybe we could put him as that one, put it in quotes, and then if he has a section in the bottom part, we can link to that. Here's a Grace Grenell, I believe, is the tech. That's who's. Okay, wait. And he's centered in Eastport. So wait, hang on. Let's see. Grace Grenell. Yes, so Grace Grenell. I think that's it's officially his name. Um, Grace Grenell. Yeah, so he's probably yeah, Grenell desperately. Yeah, so Grace Grenell. I believe I don't think Grace is a title. I think Herzog is the title, and Grace is just his name. Let's look down if they must have him in the. So you go down. The sections are laid out as such that the very bottom of Bellport. Okay, I don't see what we have on that one, but yeah, there's definitely enough towns we did not get to the least of North. There's a lot here. Yeah, we definitely didn't get to. Addison. Yeah, and they're in alphabetical order. Okay. Grenell, his radiant grace, Herzog of the North. Um, Grenell has been okay. So his radiant grace. So the question is Grace Grenell like the title, or is Grace Grenell Grace is his name, or is Grace title? That's what I'm not sure on, cause yeah, it says so. Oh, right. So I'm showing you the Grace. Oh, yeah, yeah. I realized that much, but the way they phrased it made it seem like it doesn't specify a first name. It just says Grenell, his radiant grace, and then they say in that Grace Grenell. So that's just a form of address, if you will, if not title, but is his radiant grace. Um, so is Grace then not his name? Uh, it's just kind of um lawful. Um, Humanoid poison assassins are worst. Be careful. Okay, yes, by carefully making sure that priest, um, unquestioned preeminence because he's a priest. No obvious successor. No goal of ruling heredity. Nope. Okay, so there's no way to. It's not his name. Okay. Let's see. So it's if he's probably let's see he's 62 years old. So if he's 62 in 585, let me do some mathematics here. Right. Yeah, Grace, sure. It makes perfect sense. I was they don't give him a name. He has a name, presumably like a given name, right? Um Herzog, yeah, he's not wait, he's of House Neelix. So is it Grenell Neelix or and I don't think that's his name either. Like it's just one name. You'd think he'd have two. Yeah, yeah, a knight or a lord or a yep. I get that much, but like, does he have a first name, or is Grenell just his one name? That's the question. So in the here, um, Grenell is his first name. Um, so cause he's of House Neelix, presumably. So Grenell Neelix, just his name. I think his name is Bob, but okay. Okay, so Grenell is just his first name, and he's of House Neelix, so Grenell Neelix, presumably. Or just Grenell of House Neelix, because once you get to a certain level, they just stop caring about last names. But I found that in Greyhawk, like they're Prince this of House Torkin, like it's like you're of the house. So if he is of House Neelix, then that makes sense. Um, Interesting. Okay, so um, of House Neelix, yeah. Okay, and Vars was written in another source, so okay, so uh, um, he was still ruling the. Okay, I'm gonna mention that he was still ruling the province, and then we can put parentheses and give him a page because we have a decent amount of info on him. We should get a page, um, and then some disambiguation about that. Okay, that I think we can do. So, and was still ruling the province in when he officially. Okay, let's that I think is how we can do this. Let's do it that way. Boom. Let's see. Um, 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 was still in 585. Why? Is presented, yes, a given first name, right? Of House Neelix, lawful graphic, Herzog Grenell of, yes, okay, so, Neelix, um, uh, um, okay, that makes sense. Right, okay, so, Grenell was his, okay, so, yeah, right, so you choose a new name when you start your Herzog ship? I guess that makes sense. Um, it's still confuzzling, and I'm trying to figure out how we can put that together. Okay. But it was definitely the same guy because it's uh, if he's 62 and 587, that means he was 76. So that's 9 years, right? So he was 50, which makes sense that he would have still been in charge then. Yeah. So that would have put him at 53. Yeah, 53. Yeah, 53. So that put him at 53, which makes sense that he was still in charge then. Okay, so if Grenell was a name that he chose as, like, took for himself, oh, yeah. Be really helpful if they, um, true, I, makes sense, although, usually in Greyhawk they just, although I don't know about the Herzogs, but I think the other Herzog of South Province has a full first and last two names listed, if I recall correctly. Um, Although Grenell is also priest of Hexter, so that might be a kind of thing. But I'm pretty sure the province of yes. Let's um okay, let's uh the okay, uh okay, yeah, so we'll mention that. Okay, we're gonna do this. I just wanna check um this is gonna be an interesting we still haven't done East Fair, and also there's probably a couple Roxas ones we still missed, and then so yeah, we are it is gonna take probably gonna take at least half of 2026 to sort out, but you know, uh, South Province. See, okay, South Province. Uh, um, um, Malachite Throne, Herzog of South Province. Okay, that South. This is pretty close to a stub, and South Province has a House Neelix, so 460. Did we not? There was so much on South Province in the freaking. There's no way that this, and I didn't put this quote in, which means And which one's quotes from World of Greyhawk fantasy setting? Okay. Yeah, so and then we have fantasy setting Dungeon Masters 2024 Dungeon Master Guide. Okay. Ooh, interesting. Um okay. South Province, okay. Nah, we're gonna put a pin in that because right, Zeldatron. Hang on. Because we definitely did this one I definitely worked on. Uh uh Patritic. Hang on. Um did we miss all of this? Because I definitely went through South Province and Zeldatron, and apparently I did not do as much as I thought I did. So that's, but they, let me go to, not that one. Okay, well, let me go here. Just want to check something here, because I'm pretty sure we at least went through some of South Province. South Province is 120. Apparently I didn't do all of South Province either, because there's barely a Zavaner, Lyra, since we definitely did some of these guys. Zavaner, South Province, okay. Well, okay, Exiles and Factions. Back end, we definitely did Hex Pools, and yeah, we did some of these guys. And not South Province overall. Okay, so, oh yeah, and Lantern Road, I remember this. Okay, yep, so we definitely did these, well, apparently Zeltron we kind of, Armin, yeah, we definitely, Reynard, um, Midnight Darkness, oh, Carncasa, right, we went and, um, Kragan Keep Hand, which is the Dwarven Graph, um, Redirect, yes, Graph, right, that was, um, so something went wrong with his leg. Redirect, okay, so he's Graph, that's his technical title. Redirect, yeah, okay, so Graph Radic, okay, so that was, they only gave him, that name apparently, okay. Um, oh yes, and Tarek, his concubine, and she had, okay. So, Graf Raderick he's not a Herzog, he takes the time Graf, like Landgrafdom. Graf, okay. That's interesting. Okay, so I definitely did at least some of South Province, because I remember all those names, and they definitely have pages. Ice Spire, okay. So yeah, we just did all the specifics and didn't do South Province itself, we just did all of the towns. Um, interesting, okay. Um, Herzog Chelor. Okay. Three rulers of the same name, Herzog Chelor. Huh. Alyssa, they did thus represent a fear of magical power. Okay, so. Or, okay, Alyssa is technically the same as the South Province. Divided a large number of smaller fiefs, the most of the Great Kingdom. Dominant royal house here, Neelix and Darman are the largest, but South Province is a patchwork of competing noble rival houses, backstabbing, petty feuding. Okay. Interesting. Alright, so the third Chelor during the. Okay, so Chelor. Okay, so Chelor was the Herzog and he got executed. So yeah, they. I guess Grenell is the name, first name. Okay, and they were three name generals, so it's either father to son, or they pick the name like popes do. Okay. Um. Oh yes, and then they got Osin of Almor, who doesn't have. I can't find any information on him, but okay, yes, and then he invaded. Right, I remember this. Okay, so, um, um, right, and Chalor is a cousin of Ivid's. Um, yes, himself Prince of House Neelix, denounced Chalor the Herzog, and then he got put as charge as Graft. Okay, so Graf. All right. Um, okay, that's South Province, but we were talking about North Province. Sorry, I'm haven't been sorry. I could have sworn Riedrich got like a proper name, but um Yeah, because if they just have Chelor and then he names his son Chelor and then he names his son Chelor and just Chelor of House Neelix and his son Chelor of House Neelix and his son Chelor of House Neelix and they all just, Herzog of the whatever. I don't know if, which way it goes. But I could have sworn Ridrick had more names, but apparently not. He just okay. I could have sworn they had a second name for him, but apparently not. Okay, so we could do more on South Province, but that is a secondary piece that we will get to. Right now we're going North Province. This is what happens: is you go through and then you get distracted, and then you. Yep. Okay, North Province. We're going back to North Province for now, but that's with Grenell. That's his name is Grace Grenell. But Grace is the title. Okay. Um, Neffy. Okay. Let me. Oh yes, let me do this so you guys can see what I'm working with here. So, yes. Let me. Radic. Um, uh, so many ordinary folks. Radiant's land may show access to men of Radic, admire the rugged bravery of Radic's warriors, having kept the demon at bay for so long. They're opposed to plans to conquer it, and some of them are ready to go and fight for Radic should Grenell declare and act against the nation. Okay. Okay, Radic is a. Okay. Alright. Radic's not a city, it's a nation state. Okay. Let me let me check something with the map here, and if I'm missing something with this one. Yes, you see, this is what happens when you have too many Bone March. Oh, Redick is here. Okay, I see. Redick is okay. Oh, it's right next to. Okay, I see. Redick is Bone March is. Okay. Oh, so it's just to the north of Bone March. It's coastal country, essentially. Okay, so it's like okay, yeah, it's a country. Redick is the nation. All right, that makes some sense. Okay, that's why I couldn't find it on the map. I was looking for a city, not a country. Okay, so um, what were we gonna say? Okay. Let's see. Grenell does not have the military might to fight local leaders. Okay, so taxes and tithes. Right, because Ivid granted that Herzog. Okay. Um, Spiritually, if the first granted priesthood of Hexter could be all that the priesthood of Hexter could have wished for, absolute preeminence in such matters without question. Ivid should see this. Okay, because he knew full well Ivid himself was also Ivid the Fifth was a priest of Hextor. I know that for a fact. Um, right. Um, Political faiths or churches. Though it sounded grand, the awarding the primacy gave way little in practice because their faiths were particularly politically minded. Alright. Oh, that tracks. Um, okay. Alright. So what we can do is I'm gonna go and we're gonna mention the, um, okay. Let's do, we're going to, um, back to the, if you, okay, that's the map. Anna is awesome. I feel like I should just, okay, so, um, okay, um, 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 okay, um, okay, basically, analog the official stuff and, alright, let me, alright, North Province, Um, let's go with, because they usually put religion under people, right? So let's do, yes, what we can do is, um, 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 okay. Yes, indeed. Um, 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 also, is Ivid the, alright, let's see. Ivid, I don't know if Ivid the first map, we can go back and put him in Lincoln if we need to later. Alright, uh, um, also granted, the, um, um, full, uh, political, priesthood, okay, full, how did they put it in here? Let's see. Um, 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 full prominence, um, full, um, full official control over the spiritual, um, um, over the spiritual, uh, life of, um, the, how to explain it? Let me see. It says, um, unquestioned, um, um, unquestioned authority in spiritual matters. Now, put that. Um, right. Unquestioned authority in spiritual matters. But that's because none of the other. Okay. Oh. Yeah, okay, we are doing it that way. Um, full unquestioned control of, spiritual matters. Um, but that, um, didn't change much in practice. Um, not particularly. Well, no, I guess it was useful, but particularly, um, um, uh, uh, um, but his declaration was okay. Yeah, his declaration since um, held any um, were had any interest, political standing, and therefore, so the the preeminence. So it was there was no. contention for the position. Alright. Alright. Not page bonus. 45. Um, no. Everything? Okay. Um, um, check something real quick. We might, well, that might be the next thing to do. Okay. Just go back down, because it doesn't even call him Herzog. It's, his name is presented as, Grace, his name, Grace Grenell. Okay. He's reading Grace, Herzog of the North. Herzog of the North. Okay. Yeah, because I think, um, um, yeah, because that's slightly different from either of those. Okay, so that's fun. Okay. I think that might be an interesting, and then we can cite that to this one, and then, let's see. In terms of political standing, let's see. What do we got? Examples. Let me see. What do we got? I'm trying to do better at flopping back and forth. So we didn't even get to East Fair because we realized we were, we got mired in politics. But I mean, we can stay for a little. Let's keep going for a bit. But you know, um, okay. Um, okay. Let's go back up to the okay. Um, there's gonna be a lot of stuff. And we're gonna do for East Fair and Granite City, Beyond North Province, Navy. Oh yes. Um, what does not have a Navy of any significant size? Um, um, oh, Sea Barons got um, so yeah, um, the Sea Barons, um, yeah, okay, so there was a treaty with the Sea Barons, and that is in control over the Navy. These squadrons lack any centralized command. Okay, that is interesting. That probably goes in the North History section of North Province, honestly, because yeah, if they're in coastal province, but they don't have a navy because that got tied up with the Sea Barons, and because the Sea Barons were not part of the Great Kingdom, if I recall correctly. Therefore, or at least they haven't been for a while. Certainly were. Well, oh, I have to check that too. Okay, we're gonna. That is a next. That's next week for sure. Um, yeah, which is gonna be New Year's Eve. Is Wednesday's a New Year's Eve because Christmas and New Year's are on the same day of the week. They're exactly 7 days apart. Alright, so Um, yeah, but New Year's Eve we're gonna be up. I have to work New Year's Eve. Um, but we are gonna be New Year's Day. If I can get the fundraising stream, we're doing that. I might go for a fundraiser anyway. That's a whole other story. Um, okay, and that's gonna be a thing. But uh, yeah. Okay, so that's exciting stuff. Um, Meanwhile, let me do that. Food supply, faiths and priesthoods. Okay, yes. Trade, taxes, um, Edgefield. Okay, that will have to. Okay. Negotiate various deals. Okay, yeah. So, taxes and tiles. Okay, yes. So faith. Um, Procan. Um, Let me go with Procan, Farligan, Zilchis, and in the northernmost lands, Flan Powers and Barian Zodal, Beori. Um, um, Challenge that effect store, but the faith effect, the Herzog has to accept that they have their place nonetheless. So yeah, okay. So Zilchis, Eastern people, Procan, is important to those living on the coast. Okay, so Procan, Eastern coast. Um, Worship of Procan. Let's see. Um, okay. Blah. Okay, hang on. Let me. I might have worked through an ad break or two. Oh yeah, no, there's gonna be one in 3 minutes, but the pre-roll's on. Okay. All right. Oh, all right. So you're all right. Yeah, I'm forgetting. I'm out of liquid too. Okay, let's get. Hang on. Let me see. So Procan, Zilchis, um, worship of um, Zilchis, Zilchis, uh, um, F-A, far, how do I spell Farthington? Let's see. Uh, F-H-A-R-L-A-N, F-H-A-R-L-A-N, H, oh, F-H-A-R-L-A-N, Farlangen, L-A-N, G-H-N, G-H-N, okay. Um, um, okay. Old Flan tradition. Let's see. Um, uh, um, including veneration, who specific deities. Barry and Zodal. Bear. Okay. Maybe Bori. I even the same. Okay. Let's see. Okay. Right. So let me. Okay. I'm gonna get up stretch, and get liquid, and then we will go and. Okay. I'm definitely still logged in. Oh, and it definitely. Okay, let me try something, because we got a weird. Here, let me show you, actually. Let me. That one. Yeah, I got this error message, but apparently it worked. So, okay, hang on. Let me put Addy up and stretch and get liquid, and then we will sort that out. Oh. Oh. Alright. That breaks over your plan. Okay, I'm back. Hang on. Whoop. Alright, so, this apparently got, um, okay, alright, let me do that then. Don't do anything. Okay, first thing I want to do is, I'm gonna, just in case, and then we hit publish changes, and the edit was published. Okay, good. I just wanted to hit save it, okay. Alright, login session timed out. I'm still logged in. Okay, good to know. So there's that. Um, let's see. No, okay, so Bellport. Hang on, does Bellport, um, yeah, I was like, alright, let me just make sure we snag this before I double check this, because I do not want to have to retype all of that. Okay, hang on, this is Bellport. Let me check something. I don't know if it was spelled like that in the book, or that was just an error on the part of whoever typed it. Let me check something. Blah, 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 blah. Bellport, which should be in its East Caucasian. East, okay, that's more East Fair. Is for all of the city, Undercity. Other locations, at tier. Okay, they're in individual, which means Bellport should be here because they've mentioned several. Two L's. Okay. The question is whether that, okay, now we have to check if Bellport is actually, has a page. And if it doesn't, we need to make a note that we're making one. There are a lot of things we need to make pages on. Okay, let's try Bellport. So, okay. Bellport. Okay, here's what we're gonna do. I don't know if 1L. Let's see. Okay. So I'm thinking Bellport 1L and Bellport 2L are the same city. It's just it's got two different spellings. Um, Premisine, hang on, Nyrond, Hills above Bellor. Okay, hang on. Grenell. Oh, Grace Grenell. Okay, Grenell has a page. Herzog Grenell of the North Province to seek. Let me look. Um, there might be two different cities with the name Bellport, and then we, oof. And neither of them have pages because, of course, not. Okay, let me look at some of these pages and see what we can see. Are we ready? Let's see. Um, okay. Retaliation. All right. Okay. Yes. Nyrond early government. Okay. So. Great Kingdom. Bellport should have a red. Okay. Yes. Moved to the Lower Bone Marsh and captured Neural, along with incursions to the North Province, led hills above Bellport, seeking Imperial funding to capture the Bone Marsh. Okay, so, um, no, it is that, the Nyrond, it's why it's on the page with Nyrond, and that is because there was, Elmore, they combined forces to go try and capture Bellport, which is why, but it's North Province, they went into the Bone March, so, and Bellport's near there, so, okay. That makes sense. So there are two cities. No, there is one city. It's just spelled here in whatever source. What source are they using for that? Where are they sourcing this information from? Greyhawk fantasy game setting. So, and I'm guessing, Bellport. Uh, this one. 4 is also Greyhawk fantasy world setting. Okay, so I'm guessing they spell it with one L there because there are several yeah, because that's the cited source for that stuff. So, and that's almost the same wording. So I'm pretty sure they pretty much reworded and copied it from there, and maybe even cited quotes. Okay, so it's spelled that way in that source, and two L's in this source, but it's pretty much the same city. It's near North Province. They're going into North. Okay, so if that's the case, what I'm going to do is we're going to make a page on Bellport, is what we're going to do. I'm going to make a stub page that's two L's, and then I'm going to put a redirect from one L, and then make a note that in some sources it's spelled with one L, and some sources it's spelled with two, but they're definitely the same city. I think that's how we do it. So, two spellings. Okay. It's like Grossengrad all over again, except there actually are two spellings, and it's not, or well, there were two spellings. There was one. Okay, redirect time. Okay, so let's see. I'm gonna make a small page, like a mini stub. We're gonna give it a half decent page. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna make a half decent page of Bellport. Um, Most recent spelling. So I'm gonna say two L's then. Wait, when was the fantasy setting? Now I have to figure out when. Make fantasy setting. Nope, nope, nope. Okay. We're doing this. Then we go to Nyrond. There you go. You ready? We're gonna do a little bit of just in the first Sword Red, Greyhawk Wars. No, Green Greyhawk Wars. Okay. Bellport. This one is. That's 83. Okay. So, the most recent one was Ivid. So, what we're going to do is. Alright, so we're doing two L's, and then we'll do a redirect. Okay, so let's go to the main page. Let's do. And then next week we'll do. Fill in more in Bellport, and then go back to North Province and see if we can't add a little more to that. Oh, yeah. So much to do. Okay. We have an entire of 2026 to finish it off, so let's, and 2027 if we need it too. So, that's fine. Let's see. Let me see. Bellport. New article templates. It is a settlement. Okay, settlement. Plain settlement. Here we go. Bellport. And then, sure. Okay, Bellport. 2 L's. And then, what we need to do is name port. Caption. Realm is North Province. North Kingdom. We're going to do North Kingdom and then formerly North Province, near the... Okay, so yes. Established. Let's see. Well, population is 32, yeah, and then we'll mention that there are orcs. Okay, yeah. With a sizable... Okay, so population is... human with sizable orc. With sizable orc population as well. Language, religions. What do you think we got? Since Strikers Matter need to defend against such a possibility. Haldrum. Patriarch Haldrum. Okay. Haldrum. Okay. Patriarch. Authority. Patriarch Haldrum. Okay. Is a city in the northern part. North Kingdom. And let's see, North Kingdom. Yep. Let's see what else can we talk about it. Okay, so it's no 8,500. Okay. Okay, I see. Now we're gonna change that then. History, geography. Let's see. Yes. Okay, so that was the military. So let's see. Government. Northern part of the North Kingdom. Let's see. What else we got on this? It's near the Bone Marsh. Oh. Rakers. Oh, Rakersman is from the mountains. Okay. Belport's down here. So near the Bone March. Near the coastal town. Okay, so coastal city. Bellsport. A coastal city. Coastal city in northern part of North Province. No. Okay. Oh. Yeah, coastal city. Is a coastal city. Coastal city and major port in the northern part of the North Province, near the border. Bone March. Okay. Bone March has that one. Then exceptionally important in trade. Trade. Yeah, it's exceptionally important to trade. Okay. Yep, we're gonna do this. Right. First book. Vid. Here. Oh, it has 2 major war galleys. Another barbarian attack. Okay. Fishing fleet. Never very sizable. Half the fleet's been sunk. Oh, wow. Okay. So it is in trouble. Good to know. Okay, Bellport. Oh, it's got freaking war dragons, charmed and trained. Okay, they have dragon um Plymouth Hills, gray steel. Strong enough to withstand a very long siege. Okay, okay. Plymouth Hills. Okay, so built into the Plymouth Hills. Okay, so let's see. All right. If it let's see. Oh, we were supposed to be looking at page numbers. 50. Yep. Yeah, 50. Huh. 51. Okay. So 51. Um, 51. Yep. Okay. So it's essentially 51. Um, built into the Lemmy Hills. Near, okay, built. I don't know if they have a page near the border of the Bone March. Okay, so um, yep. So that's that. Okay, so we're gonna do this. That's about what we've got. It's a very good basic. Yeah, good basic page with room for expansion. Okay, so coastal city, major port. So there. And then what we're going to do is, let's see if I remember how to do this. Main page. Um, okay, I'm gonna do this. Here's how we're gonna do it. Spell port. Search. Uh-huh. And, no. Do you remember how to do, there was a way to do redirects, I think. Uh, links, turn external link. No, that's not helpful. Okay. Advanced. Nope, that's just more of that. Okay. Yes. There should be a way to do. Okay, that's how you do it. Yes, good job. Okay, let me thank you. I knew there was a way to do it. Hashtag redirect. Redirect. BEL port. Okay. Alright, okay. Bellport, Bellport. Okay, that works. And then wait, hang on, let me just add, the city is known, okay, so yes. Bellport, known near source books. But is most assuredly, but is the same city. City. Okay, yes, Bellport. There. Referred to in, yeah, and we can put that in publishing history or something when we clean up the page. But for now, there. Then all of them. Okay, so essentially, if anyone goes to Bellport, it'll say, okay, it's in the Belmont Hills, and there'll be like a little bit there. Okay, and then next week will be New Year's Eve, and I'm not doing anything because I have to work. So, there's that. Okay, so thank you all for joining me. Remember, as it, if anyone has any medicine to take care of yourself, hydrate, all that jazz. I'm gonna have I think I'm gonna have a nap before work, and I have to go in, and hopefully it won't be too bad tonight. Hopefully it'll be pretty chill, and it'll be like just a little bit of stuff that's gonna get staged for the 26th, and then we can go home, and I can get on the overnight bus to go see my parents. So, you know, um, if you're celebrating Christmas, have a good Christmas. If you're not, enjoy having a federal, in the U.S. at least we get a federal holiday. So you get time and a half and or a day off. enjoy it. And yeah, it's gonna be 2026. So I will see you all um next week. Um, yeah, probably won't stream. Tomorrow. I'm not streaming tomorrow because I'm gonna be. Yeah, I hope so too. No, I'm giving some fun stuff, so that's fun. Um, yeah, enjoy. Chill this time of year, and I will see you all. Uh, Monday, Tuesday, something like that. Um, yeah. Okay, let me see. Is there anyone fun we can raid into? There's got to be someone fun we can raid into. Let's see. Um, I feel like I could do. Let me try. Um, Hang on. Let me try typing something real quick. Nope, my bot is down. Okay. So that's all right. I'll definitely be streaming New Year's Day, so keep an eye out for that. New Year's Eve and New Year's Day. Let's see. Epic Duck. Dumps. Dance, all playing. Oh, that would be helpful. Just if I have to. So, um, let's go. We haven't rated Brushfire in a while. He's an artist. He does painting and stuff. He's doing a live painting stream. So let's go say hi, everyone. Um, you know, and I will see you all. Go say hi to Brushfire. And he's using a bust, I think. All right, off we trot. Let's do it. And actually, remember to stop the stream this time.